Guys, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I just kind of wanted to do a little follow-up video for my competition. I just briefly talk about some things for my competition while I do my makeup, and of course give you an idea of how you can do your makeup for a bikini competition if you have one coming up and you do not want to pay for a makeup artist because it gets very expensive. So yeah, I just give you a brief tutorial on how I did my makeup for my competition and just give you a little bit of tips and things you need to know. So with further ado, why don't we go ahead and get into this video. So I'm just gonna take a clip to kind of pull my hair back here. And I did my eyes for my competition. I actually wanted to control the edges, so I did put tape underneath my eyes to do that. I want to say that we'll be starting off with our eyes first, just because I am doing like smoky or dark eye colors and they kind of tend to, smudge out all over the place, and I didn't want to take a chance in ruining my foundation. I would rather go back and touch up the eyes first before I go ahead and do my foundation. So I did my makeup. I actually worked backwards and I did the eyes first and then I did my face. It was just going to be easier to get the longest part done and out of the way. So first I started off with my eyebrows, and I took my Hourglass Arch Brow pencil in the shade Dark Brunette. And let me tell you guys, this is a really awesome brow pencil. I am absolutely in love with it. It matches my my brow color very well, and I feel like it's really easy to just kind of draw on my brows. I tend to have bigger brows, bushier brows, so I don't get to achieve that really cool Instagram brow effect because they're pretty thick as is, so it's harder to kind of fill them out. But they do have their sparse edges, and it's always nice to kind of just clean up and kind of draw around it to make them wider. So that's just kind of the effect that I usually do with my brows. And when I'm at the top, I like to pull it down in the way that the brow hairs are facing. And I'm having my brow go all the way down to the tape. That way when I do my eyeshadow, it's going to kind of connect with the brow, and that's also going to be helpful for when I do my winged eyeliner, just so it's kind of all evened and aligned up correctly. That's a trick that I've learned over the year, where you kind of want to give your brow a longer tail, and it will just really help you when you do your eyeshadow and your eyeliner. Okay, so now I need to carve out my brows, just kind of shape them out a bit so they are a little bit smoother. I'm going in with my Sleek Makeup Cream Contour Kit. So this is in the shade Medium. So I'm going to be taking this color right here to carve out my eyebrows. It's a little dirty because I've mixed it with that. And you'll see how I highlight my face with concealer. I'm just taking a regular concealer brush from Royal and Langnickel. And yeah, I'm just kind of carving up along the top. Carving out the brow is just like really important because it really cleans up all those edges, and it just really makes your brow lifted for one thing, and it gives it a nice highlight as well. And like I said, it also just gives it a cleaner look. But this is also another good way to clean up any mistakes that you've made, and it really just defines everything out. I actually really like this concealer. It's very creamy, and it's a lot different than like the Tarte Shape Tape, which is more of a liquid concealer. But I think this really carves out brows very nicely. I think it's a good way to kind of get that sharp decreased line, and I can always go back and like fix my mistakes with the concealer as I'm carving. I just really kind of wanted to touch up my brows just because they were looking a little bit uneven and not as full and even like I wanted them to. Okay, so now I am ready to go ahead and do my eyes. So when I did my eyeshadow look for my competition, I did my, you know, classic silver smoky eyeshadow look. However, I want to do a different eye look that's still dark enough for a bikini competition. This is actually an eyeshadow that I'm considering for my next competition. I did want to talk about that. So yes, I do plan on competing again. I really enjoyed competing. It was a very fun experience, and I feel like it was a very friendly competition as well. I met so many amazing women backstage, and the girls that I competed with were so sweet. No one was like a bratty elitist in any way, shape, or form. It was most girls for show as well. I competed, I think, with like 2 other girls who've competed in the past, so they had a lot more experience. And I will say that they did place very well that day. So yeah, the girls are very nice, and it's really cool how we all share this one thing in common, and it's something that nobody else would ever set their mind to, because prepping for a competition is so hard, guys. It's so hard. I had my moments where I really struggled with it, and I know I mentioned in my last video that I didn't place in my competition. I actually came out in last in both of my classes. I came out in 6th in Novice A and then 8th in Open A. And I think I know why. I think it was just because I still wasn't quite lean enough like I wanted to be. And for some reason my poses looked really weird. Like I didn't understand what was going on with my posing. I am waiting for my stage photos to come in, and then I'm going to submit those to the judges so they can give me feedback, and I'm going to assume that that's what their feedback is going to be. So my next show is that I am going to be, you know what, let me start doing my eyeshadow and then I will keep on talking. Okay, so I'm taking my BH Cosmetics Be Ruby palette, and for my transition shade, I'm going to go into this color, Optimistic, right here. Okay, yeah, so where was I? Oh yeah, I am planning on competing again in August. I am allowing myself more time to prep and lean out more, and I think waiting until the end of August is going to be a very good time for that. So currently I am on a reverse diet. I'm actually still doing the keto diet, which really is not as bad as it sounds. So, okay, so you don't know what the keto diet is. It is basically a little to no carb diet and high fat. Apparently it's like really similar to the Atkins diet. So I get to eat a lot more fats to kind of help me with my energy levels. So that's really nice. And I have been doing fine with it. I will say this week I was not feeling very motivated for exercise. So right now I'm taking this darker shade right here in the color Inspired. So yeah, speaking of which, I definitely was not very inspired this week. I was very tired from my show. I did go to the gym 3 times this week, and that's half of what I was doing this week. Generally, I go 6 times, but I think my body just really needed a break. So I gave it a rest, but I still stuck with my diet at least, just to kind of keep track of it, and I maintained my weight. My coach wants me to stay, so my coach is saying if I can stay under 115 pounds, then I will do fine with my next prep, and she was saying that I need to allot myself 20 weeks for my next show. So I will start prepping again in the middle of April, or like the 2nd week in April, I should say. And I'll get started from there, and that will give me enough time to lean out. My body will also be in a better position and place to start prep, and I think my body is going to respond better to leaning out more and just decreasing more body fat. And what's really unfortunate is that genetics really got the best of me with my prep. And before I tell you that story, I'm going to go with the color Bold right here. But yeah, a little background of my story is that the women on my mom's side of the family, and I'm very maternal heavy when it comes to genetics. I get a lot of my genes from my mom's side of the family. And my mom does not have the best genetics. So a lot of the women on her side of the family are larger, and they carry a lot of their weight in their midsection. They've always been larger. They have wider hips. And yeah, it's really unfortunate, and it was really frustrating for me because I was really trying to like break the barriers and like really kind of decrease a lot of my midsection, which was the hardest place for me to like lose weight in. I have a lot of muscle definition in my upper body, and then my glutes and hams aren't that bad as well, but they could be better. And yeah, so it was just very frustrating for me go through that process and just seeing the weight not really shrink in my midsection and on my love handles, because that is genetics. And I think having more time will really help decrease that body fat in those areas even more. Really quick, I'm now going to take this dark purple right here in the color Confident. So I'm kind of going for like a purpley smoky eye look, just letting you know. I'm putting this in my inner V, or not my inner V, my outer crease, and kind of putting it on top of that bold color to make it kind of pop and have dimension. But yeah, anyway, so that was really hard for me when I was going through prep. And I kind of always felt really heavy. I definitely looked a lot heavier on stage, but that's also the slimmest I've ever been in my life. And I was, believe it or not, 111 pounds when I stepped on that stage. So that is the lightest that I have ever been in my life. I've always been at least like 124 to 126. That was like my all-time heaviest. And then when I started prep, I was 123, and I ended at 111 pounds, which is incredible. Before I put my lids on, I want to blend these guys out, like from the lid to the transition shade. And I'm using my Luxie blending brush for that. I don't think you can really see the purple on screen because the light's kind of washing it out, but just know that it looks really pretty when you look into a mirror. Now I'm taking my EcoTools flat brush, and I'm going in with the color Kind right here. And I'm taking some setting spray from Ilana to set that color in there. Ooh, that's really pretty. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of what I'm going to be working on, but of course I won't officially know what I'm going to be working on once I get that feedback, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it'll be very harsh. I think it's going to be very constructive and helpful, and it's going to be more motivating for my next show. So I plan on doing a show in Sacramento that I'm really interested in August, and it's definitely going to be a bigger show for sure, and I think my competition will be a lot higher. It's also an IFBB show as well, but I'm not competing in that portion. I'm just doing the more amateur side of it. So I'm still going to be doing novice and open for that because I still have yet to place high in a novice class to where I can only be competing in open classes. So yeah, I really am looking forward to doing that show and just bringing in a better package. And I'm just going to go back and darken up bold. I do realize that I haven't been using my NYX pencils for this. I just kind of wanted to give my eyes just a different, more of a natural look. I did prime them earlier off camera, and I just used some of that concealer on my eyelids. But yeah, just going back up and darkening it up will really kind of make this eye look stand out better. And now I'm mixing Confident, and yeah, I'm just taking Confident and Bold and just mixing the two together now to really deepen it and darken it out. So now I'm taking my small Morphe brush, and I'm going in with the color Hopeful right here to kind of highlight the inner corners and the brow bone, and I'm taking my setting spray. Gonna go over the brow. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do my eyeliner and my mascara and lashes, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that I have my lashes and my mascara and eyeliner, and I kind of wanted to show you what the eye look looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and peel the tape off to see how it looks. Okay, wow, that looks really good. It just looks really crisp and defined, and that's exactly what I like going for when I do my stage makeup. Okay, so before I do the lower lash line, I'm gonna get started with my face, and then I'll go back and do the lower lash line. That way I won't mess any of my lower eyeshadow up. Okay, so for the foundation that I'm using, I am using the Life Proof Foundation from Sleek Makeup in the shade LP19. This is going to perfectly match the competition tan, or at least this is what I used to match my competition tan. I just literally dabbed it onto my hand and started taking my beauty blender, and I literally just started pouncing away on my face. So yeah, you need to get a foundation that is going to match the spray tan. I really don't recommend getting your face sprayed with the spray tan just because it's not gonna look really right on your face. And I did let this build up on my face because I really wanted it to match the dark tan, because let me tell you, the tan was very, very dark. Also, one thing when you are competing, don't forget your ears. So yeah, I had to put that all over my ears, and yes, I know I got a little bit of foundation on my hair. I don't really care. I'm about to take a shower after I do this video anyway. But yeah, you need to make sure that you do not miss your ears and that you don't miss the back of your neck a little bit, just because you want everything to blend out. So yeah, I'm aware I look pretty crazy at the moment. My light definitely makes me look very washed out, but this is a very dark foundation, and I wish you could see it better, but it has a bit of an orange-ish brownish undertone. Like, it's really dark, but it matched the tan so perfectly. So I'm glad that I got this shade. So now going back with that Sleek Cosmetics palette, I'm going to be taking this middle shade right here to highlight my face with the concealer. I'm literally just kind of taking that concealer brush and just brushing it underneath my face. I just felt that a cream concealer was going to be better than a liquid concealer. I mean, my Tarte Shape Tape was going to be way too light for this look, and it would take off the color on my face, that is, even though it's foundation. But yeah, it was just way too light, and it would really like just take off the darkness and kind of defeat the purpose of having a darker face. So yeah, I am just brushing on the concealer and then kind of just buffing it into my face, because when I'm brushing it in, it's blending in pretty nicely. So getting the bridge of my nose. So yeah, now that I've concealed my face, now it's time to set. And yes, you guessed it, we are definitely baking the face. So I'm taking my beauty blender and my e.l.f. setting powder, and I am literally just plopping that onto my face and pressing it on there. Literally concealing any part where I highlighted. I'm going to contour underneath this, and then I'm going to bake that contour as well. So I'm going in with my Physicians Formula Bronzer Booster, and I'm taking that mahogany shade. You want to see it better, I'm taking the mahogany shade, and I'm actually going to be using the little brush that it comes with because it has a really nice angle. I'm taking more setting powder and then just defining the line underneath. So while I am looking beyond crazy, I'm gonna go ahead and do my lower lash lines. I'm gonna go back to my BH Cosmetics palette. So with my small tapered blending brush, I'm gonna take Confident and Bold and kind of gently go underneath where the winged liner was. I really have to build it up because it's not as pigmented as I want it to be right now. And then with my small Morphe brush, I'm going to take Kind, which was that really pretty light purple, and kind of go underneath. And then I'm going to take Hopeful and just kind of fix up the bottom here. And then touch it up with some Better Than Sex mascara for the lower lashes. Now I'm going to tightline the lower lash line with my NYX Black Jumbo Pencil. Okay, so I think enough time has passed from baking the face. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe these guys off. And for the final touch, I'm going to do the lips. So I am using my Urban Decay lipstick right here, and it is in the color Catfight. So I used like a satiny, like deep pink color. And then I'm going to just take my setting spray and let my hair down. Okay guys, well that completes my competition makeup look for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and gave you a better idea of how you can do your makeup for a bikini competition if you have one coming up. Be sure you subscribe to my channel as I post new videos on Mondays, and you can give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.